What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Freddy's Gym. It's Freddy tuning in with you, and man, oh man, today I woke up with DOMS for the first time in a long time. And for people that don't know what that is or what that stands for, it is delayed onset muscle soreness. And it's muscle soreness and stiffness that you feel for about 12 to 72 hours after your workout, especially after training hard or doing something that your body isn't used to. Maybe it's been a while since you hit the gym like me. But today I gotta admit, it hit me hard because, it's been a while since I've been consistent in the gym. With all this dieting I've been going through, the transitioning back into eating more carbohydrates. The thing is after I came off of the carnivore diet, I started eating more carbs, and my body just wasn't used to having them, wasn't used to holding on to water, and filling out those muscle glycogen stores with the carbs. So, I was crashing throughout the day, feeling a little unmotivated. Was also having some weird electrolyte shifts happening. I remember my heart was doing some weird things. It was doing some weird things before I added the carbs, but when I added the carbs, it was like, whoa, what's going on here? But yeah, it was even making me question, like, am I about to die? And I wasn't trying to push myself in the gym with my heart doing weird stuff like that. I wasn't about to do that. But anyways, things have finally cooled down. I'm finally back in the gym. I'm feeling great minus the muscle soreness. Right now, all my movements are kind of in slow motion. I'm kind of feeling like an astronaut walking on the moon. I think the worst thing is getting in and out of the car. I would say either that or going to use the bathroom. Like trying to lower yourself down to the toilet seat, and then your cheeks finally touch the seat, and there's that little bit of pain that you have to go through until you reach full landing. But yeah, it's pretty brutal. But at the same time, the feeling of DOMS kind of makes me happy because I feel like, it just means your body's adapting to new stimulus, right? And that also means, I'm on my way to growing stronger, building some muscle. And the thing is, it usually only lasts about 2 to 3 days, sometimes up to 5 if you're a beginner. But there's actually some things, too, that you can do to recover faster from delayed onset muscle soreness that I want to share with you guys. Number one is actually just to keep moving. Doing some light walking, getting some blood flow to help with the healing process. Or you can do some active recovery, which is what I like to do. Like a light workout for the same muscle group that you hit previously. So for an example, like if I hit a leg day the day before, the next day what I'll do is I'll get on the exercise bike and I'll just, go at a nice easy pace. And what I find is with getting that blood flow in there and just get my legs moving slowly like that, the next day it's almost like cleared up. But I find like that helps the most, just getting some of that blood flow to help recover. Another thing too is, just eating enough protein, getting enough carbohydrates in your diet. And I wouldn't even go further to just say the main thing is getting enough calories in general. I find when I'm eating enough calories, I recover a lot faster. And I actually sleep better too, which is also going to help with recovery. I've actually tested this out because I like to actually track my food. Some people have a problem with it, but I actually really enjoy it because I feel like my own kind of mini scientist. And what I'll do is I'll journal. I'll journal a lot. So for an example, if I wake up feeling great in the morning, I'll jot that down. And it'll be something like, I woke up feeling amazing today. I had a good dream, feeling sharp, mentally clear. This is how many calories I ate the day before. These were the foods that I ate. And what I'll do is I'll try to focus on maybe eating the same foods or hitting the same amount of calories that I did the day before because I want to consistently feel that way. And I'll just try to have fun with that, experiment, see what's working, see what's not working. But what I found by journaling is I've realized that eating enough calories definitely plays a huge role on how fast you recover. Because there were some days where, I thought I was eating enough calories, but once I bumped it up, I felt a lot better. So I obviously wasn't eating enough. But that's the cool thing about tracking and journaling is you can really take a deeper look into things. It can save you quite a bit sometimes. There's a couple other things too that you can do that I've utilized in the past, like the sauna, maybe foam rolling it out if you can actually relax through that kind of pain. I know I've had clients in the past that absolutely just couldn't stand the pain through the foam rolling process. Usually people that are beginners at the gym, it's really tough for them to kind of just like relax into it, because you really do need to let go when you're massaging that out, or else your body's just gonna stay tensed up. You got to relax through it, and it's tough to do that. But those are a couple things you can do there. Definitely getting enough electrolytes is going to help. Drinking enough water, definitely drinking a lot of water is going to help. But funny thing is too, I want to mention is I would get clients sometimes, and it would actually be their first time in the gym, and they'd send me an email the next day basically saying something like, I think there's something wrong, Freddie. I booked an appointment with the doctor to go get checked out the next day. And I would ask them too, like, what are some of the symptoms that you're having? And usually it would just be literally delayed onset muscle soreness. And the thing is, I wasn't pushing these people hard, like I'm talking about beginners. Maybe it was a few sets of body weight exercises, going through some, proper body movements. Or maybe we hit some machines, did some machines. And it's just, the thing is these people haven't ever had this kind of stimulus before, so it was new to them. It was fresh. And that really actually opened my eyes as a personal trainer, like, as well as when I first became a trainer, I already had a lot of experience in the gym. So working with somebody who was coming like fresh into the gym, that's where I had my first wake up call, like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's people out there that, they're at the beginning, and you got to show them, like, it's like a baby crawling, right? Like, you got to be careful with them. You got to be patient with them. Like, you cannot be putting them through, your kind of workouts. Like, you're building somebody up from the ground up, just like how you built from the ground up as well. Like, you got to do that with them. And that was my first wake up call as a trainer. But yeah, I wasn't pushing these guys that hard, and it was delayed onset muscle soreness. But I would say, definitely go to your doctor if you truly feel like something is wrong. Maybe you feel some sharp stabbing kind of pain that's deeper than in the muscle. Maybe it lasts more than a week. But I will say most of the time it is just delayed onset muscle soreness. But yeah, those are just a couple tips that you can use. But I will say, out of all of them, the ones that work the most for me, or that have worked the most for me, were definitely getting on the exercise bike, or just getting some like light movement. Nothing crazy, guys. Like, just some light movement, for a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes. And you'll find that the next day it's a lot better. And the second thing is definitely eating enough, getting enough protein, getting some carbohydrates in, and hydrating too. Drink enough water. Those are the big key ones that are going to help you a lot. But anyways, I want to know what you guys have to say in the comment section below. What are some things that have helped you get through the DOMS effect? And are you currently going through it yourself? I'd be curious and interested to hear some of those stories down there in the comment section. But until next time, guys, I hope that helped a lot. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.